we have to start from somewhere. I must commend what the government is doing now. And I must commend especially UBEC, Universal Basic Education Commission. They're actually championing this reintroduction of history. I was fortunate to be in the team that looked at how to bring back history, what we can do. We agreed that we have to start from the lower level, from the primary school. And at that primary school, we are looking at those things that tie us together. We start from the things that connect us and we move to our specific stories. We need to understand what is Nigeria. We need to understand what is uniform in Nigeria. We need to understand what makes us us. So we start from that central axis, those things that connect us, that are uniform across board. We start from there. We have heroes, we have heroines in all our societies. We live together. We believe in mutual coexistence. We relate with our neighbors. We have neighbors. These neighbors are friends. We agree, we disagree. We do not disagree permanently. There's always a give and take. While we are forging our unity at this level, we are also conscious of our specific stories, that within that big Nigerian space, we have smaller spaces. One space for the Hausa, one for the Ijaw, one for the Jukun, one for the Tiv, and so on and so forth. They have their specific stories. They have their uniqueness. So we start also to introduce at our respective levels this uniqueness. That means that the person studying history from Tiv land should be very familiar with the history of Tiv land as much as he or she is familiar with the history of Nigeria. So you don't study the history of Nigeria at the expense of the history of Tiv land. If you are from Jukun, you should be able to know your history as much as you know the history of Nigeria. You should be able to function in Nigeria as a Nigerian. You should also be able to function in your community as a Jukun. You should know your friends. And you should know those things that connect you with your neighbors. We've not always been fighting. We have been friends. We have been borrowing from each other. Sometimes we pull our strengths together to fight a common enemy, depending on what we call a common enemy, and so on and so forth. So that is what we are doing. And I believe that this is the right strategy because we've lost a lot of ground. We've lost a lot of ground. We are trying actually to cover up. To start now is early enough. Imagine if we leave it off for another 10 years, it's going to be catastrophic. We just have to start now to understand Nigeria and understand our disparate communities and carry the two together.
One question of hero, I think it's also very important in terms of our national identity. In that, okay, when we speak about the Nigerian Civil War just now, by the time we're looking at your book, now, I've always say that when we are looking at our hero, we should be able to identify the people that have died in the Nigerian Civil War because they have died in a war in this country. So these people are not just the Nigerian side or the Biafran side. All of them, as we currently stand at Nigeria. So they are the Nigerian heroes. Talking of the contemporary history. But we can even go further than that. The Kijaja of Opobo. Many other people who have managed to instill what we should call pride in the people. Something that you should be proud of. All the people in the country that have managed to do this, talking of even our contemporary history, they should be our hero. Now, looking at the Nok culture, for example, the central Nigeria. Now, we should be able to take this what these people have done and improve on them. Because currently, as it currently stands, it appears that we don't have anything, but it is not true. But the question actually I'm asking here, looking about how we can restore the history, is about documentation. How do we go about documenting part of this history? Like looking at a certain section of the country who have had. Okay, now let me go back again. In the city where I live in Verona, if you were to build anything at all, and the city council know that under where you are building, that is the remnant of the Romans, they will not allow that project to go on. They will go and dig it up and retell that story properly. In fact, this city where I live benefit a lot of money for people just coming to find out about the Romans. That is their history. Now, how many people are spending money to go and visit the Benin Wall, for example? In fact, the Benin people are destroying this wall to build something for themselves, just destroying it. But people go to visit the walls of China. So how do we document it and monetize it? Because this is our product. How can we document it so that we can then monetize it? How do we go about that also?
It's still part of official policy. For instance, we have an office for museum and their monuments. They should be responsible for all our legacies, our historical legacies. They should be. What you are saying now is kind of pointing a finger at their effectiveness. I don't know really, but I believe that this falls squarely under their jurisdiction. Since the ministry is there, or the office is there, they're the ones to mark out those things that are landmarks that should be protected, that should not be destroyed, and come up with modalities of use. I know that in Enugu, they have this very powerful office, so close to the former zoo. How they're protecting our legacies, I cannot say. If our legacies are falling into disrepute, I cannot really say. I know that the War Museum in Oma here is not faring any better. What it tells me is a kind of a policy of silencing. Yeah, of silencing, choosing what should be preserved of our past and what should not be. No. The United States, you talked about, fought a war. The fact that one section of the country fought against the other section did not mean that they obliterated everything from the section that fought against the others. They've tried also to keep monuments of that past. So for us in Nigeria, across Nigeria, whether at NOC, even the tin mines or the Benin walls, and so many other legacies that we have, these things should be protected. These things should be preserved. These things should be intentionally documented. It's not only with our monuments that there are problems. Talk of the archives too. The archives should be the place where these documents should be stored. If you go to our archives, our records are in disarray. Most records are lost. If you see where ancient materials are stored, you'll feel sorry for Nigeria. And we have people that are paid to take care of these things. I don't know how carefully they are supervised. I don't know. But I know that we have records of the Benin walls that even visitors to Nigeria helped us to document. These are not really being taken care of. So we have the problem with the monuments themselves. We have the problems with the archives where the documentation about these things should be stored. I don't know. It says a lot about Nigeria. And our sense of what is right, or our sense of what is valuable, not what is right, what is valuable and what is not valuable.